Hey everyone, so our build plan has changed once again. I swear I can never get that camera right. Can't wait to have a capture card. So yes, this is the second video today. I'm not going to be using the Black Knight Greatsword for the rest of the game, and I know my character looks hideous right now. The Black Knight did not want to drop his torso, but now that I'm switching the weapon, it would probably have been too heavy even with Havels at this point. So we're not doing the Black Knight set. There was, even though I love the Black Knight Greatsword, there was a problem that made me not so sure about it. And the new weapon will require me to get another refined gem, so yay, bunch more grinding. And it is 4 pounds heavier. But in exchange, we are talking we're talking about the second hardest hitting Ultra Greatsword in the entire game that we're headed to go get. And on top of this, it doesn't have the problem I had encountered trying to use the Black Knight Ultra. Which, yeah, okay, the Black Knight Ultra may be quality and all, but there's some enemies that I just, with something this big, I want to be able to use pine resin. That was the deal breaker. I can't buff the Black Knight Greatsword. None of the Black Knight weapons can be buffed. And I forgot about Hazel. It's probably on the ladder by now. Sometimes he just runs into the pit and kills himself, but I have the brawn to just murder him. I have close to 300 AR already. And this isn't even one of the harder hit. I mean, it hits hard. It's still an Ultra with good damage. But the Black Knight Greatsword is not one of the harder hitting Ultras. But I mean, look at that damage. And this isn't even one of the harder hitting ones. The hardest hitting Ultra Greatsword is by far the Fume. But the second hardest hitting one, which I think is a little better because not only is it a tiny bit lighter, it weighs 20 instead of 25. The weapon we are headed to go get can be buffed, infused, and upgraded to plus 10. Also, let me show you that I can't physically turn the brightness down. See, my brightness is all the way down. And there's still glare. I can't do anything else about it. So you see, I have not sold the binoculars like I often do. So you see that right there in the distance? That's where we're headed. So I'm actually thinking of just converting this to a strength build, since this weapon is a strength weapon. I know there's some four-legged Gru's here. Where are they? They should be attacking by now. I can't remember which one of these is the purple moss clumps and which one is the great sword, but only one way to find out. And there it is. The great sword is the second hardest hitting ultra in the game, but it's also buffable, infusable, and upgradable to +10. Which, personally, I think this weapon is maybe the best ultra in the game, just because it hits harder. It's just, it hits really hard and has the extra versatility of being buffable and infusable. So even though this looks to be less of a strength weapon than the Black Knight Greatsword, as we upgrade it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Which, yeah, we need more Titanite. But we also need a heavy gem. I'll just Rosaria my stats. But considering we are not built optimally for this thing, look at how much damage it's doing. Also, the fact that these things are more resistant to slash than thrusting, which isn't huge, but it does affect it. I can actually grab some Titanite right here. And sorry about that, I don't know why I said it like that. These things will eventually drop a heavy gem. I'm trying to figure out if I want to even bother showing the tree fight. Because the Curse Rotted Greatwood is just going to get murdered in a few seconds by this thing. But we gotta fight that tree. We need the transposing kiln. Because how you get Havel's Ring is you transpose the soul of the stray demon. But I'll definitely show the stray demon fight. It's not a special fight or anything, but it's more interesting to me just beating up the tree. Like, I actually have to dodge. I'm actually gonna have to dodge against that thing. Which, that's something, this is actually something you want to note with all big boy weapons. They tend to have at least one, typically the rolling R1, move in each their one-handed and two-handed move sets. That's really, really fast. I know I look hideous. So, for armor with this thing, probably going to go with the Millwood. Since it's really light. It's actually lighter than Black Knight armor. But what makes the Millwood one of the best armor sets in the game is, despite its super low weight for heavy armor, it has pretty good physical absorption. In fact, among armors, it's meta. It's one of the meta armor sets, up there with Cathedral Knight, Wing Knight, because it has the best ratio of damage absorption to weight. And as heavy armor, it does provide some poise. Its poise isn't the best, but it does provide some. This is honestly already kind of a strength build. I mean, 30 strength, but all those points in dexterity. To be fair though, if we keep those points, we would be able to use the Lothric Knight Sword. But the problem with using the Lothric Knight Sword on a strength build is it's literally the one build it's bad on, I think. Because it is a dexterity weapon. Pretty much dexterity weapons that can be infused tend to be good on any build except strength. Which I should know what a dex weapon is good for, because I use them all the time. I used to be a huge fan of strength, not so much anymore, although I'm getting back into great swords, ultra great swords, they're fun. My most common builds are dex, quality, and as of like a week ago, actually, hollow. I haven't gotten the build far enough yet to get a hollow gem. That was an actual hollow build. But hollow is fun. Which, if you want to make a luck build, but you want to have those auxiliary effects, you don't want to use Henri's kind of thing, hollow is the build for you. Because what a hollow gem does is it gives you physical damage scaling off of luck. Which luck also governs proc speed of auxiliary effects, being frost, poison, and bleed. Bleed being the really good one for PvE, because bleed weapons aren't exactly special, so you can still infuse them, buff them, all that. So you can actually get them to scale with luck. But unlike poison, which do have weapons like that as well, not many though, there's pretty much the Gru weapons. Poison is slow. Bleed is not. Poison eats 7 health every second. That's not huge, but it helps. Bleed, while you can roll the bleed, and again, auxiliary effects, not everything's going to be affected by any of them. That's why you don't rely on auxiliary effects. Bleed, however, like I was saying in the previous part, is actually good in PvE. Because things don't try to roll as much. And they won't try to roll the bleed. Basically what this means is if you can bleed something and you have a proper weapon for inflicting bleed, it will likely bleed. Here we go. Here comes the stray demon. Hang on, that hit me? Confused. I really should go get more Estus shards. My roll's being all funky. I'm dead. My roll was being funky. I don't know what was going on there. Sir, am I gonna have to pull out my Lothric Knight sword, aka my Lothric OP sword? I may need to do something lighter than a greatsword. I'm not kidding. Something faster than a greatsword, than an ultra, but not as fast as what I tend to use all the time. Because I'm just too good with straight swords. I'm only using the straight sword here because, one, I have a lot of souls on the line. Two, we need Havels. Come on, get out of there. And there goes his leg. Repost him. There. More proof that the Lothric Knight sword is OP. Here's the thing. I would use a greatsword, but I also use greatswords a lot. Of course, I could just use a bad greatsword. The reason I'm trying to avoid the weapons I use all the time, like the Claymore, the Lothric Knight sword. Again, I'm just using the Lothric Knight sword right now to get some stuff. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm just trying to get some stuff with this sword. And once I get a weapon that's a little more balanced than an ultra, but not a weapon as bloody OP as the Lothric Knight sword, I'm not kidding. Straight swords are just OP. I would say a straight sword would probably be the weapon to use if not for curved swords in general. And the ever so infamous Murky and Harp. Although, even if new game is kinda easy, I'm gonna need something I'm good with for New Game Plus and beyond. So if I go that far, I may need the Lost Ignite Sword. Okay, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe we will use the Lost Ignite Sword after all. I know I keep changing my mind. I've always had that problem. But the thing is, not only is this weapon just good, but at the same time, we're going to need something that's somewhat powerful for the later bosses and in New Game Plus and beyond. Wait, I went to the wrong place. Although I should cash in these souls. So, I'm gonna end it here. All I'm gonna do before the next part, which isn't coming out today, is I'm going to go hit the last fire so we can access the Watchers. But I really need a break from Dark Souls. I'm over level anyways. Slightly over level. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all next time.